Madam Chair, I move that we open the budget hearing. We have a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So before you hear today, the 2025 budget amendments. So the general fund, road and bridge fund, and the special alcohol fund amendment request is due to unanticipated revenue from various sources unrelated to ad valorem tax. All these funds have sufficient unanticipated revenue and prior year cash carry forward to fund the requested budget amendments. So amending the general fund will increase budget authority by $2,690,275 to allow for a transfer of unanticipated revenue into reserve funds for future projects if that's deemed practical. A big piece of that 2.6 million is the sale of tax credits earlier this year. And so if you remember, we received those proceeds and then we turned around immediately and transferred it into reserves. So a lot of this budget authority was eaten up by that transfer already. So this is capturing all of that. Amending the road and bridge budget will increase budget authority by $275,600 to cover additional purchase of aggregates and other consumable goods that are necessary for operations, as well as future road overlay projects that will be funded by federal funds, exchange money, and other unanticipated revenue. And finally, amending the special alcohol fund will increase budget authority by $660. Earlier this year, I believe it was in January, we allocated funds from special alcohol, and we essentially took the fund to zero, but there was more in the fund than budget authority allowed us to spend. So this is just basically marrying those up and getting us in line with anything. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Study session.
Madam Chair, I don't have any questions except for transparency for the public.
Mm.
Matt, one of your greatest qualities is you speak at such a high level. You know, you and I have had conversations at length where I'm like, man, you got to dumb it down for me.
Sure.
And we've gotten there to where we can communicate very effectively. When we're talking about a budget amendment hearing and amending the budget, are we raising taxes?
No.
Okay.
One thing I want to make very clear, because we're amending this budget, it does not mean that we have to spend this money.
What are we doing?
So essentially, we took in more revenue than we planned on taking in for 2025. And so this is basically just raising the budget authority to meet what we actually took in. So it gives us the option when it comes to transfer time. Do we want to make the transfer? Do we want to keep it in cash carry forward? And usually it's somewhere in between there. So for instance, we're probably not going to make a $2.6 million transfer from the general fund because we'll have to look at what do we need in cash carry forward? What do we need to start the year when we're budgeting for 2027? So this just gives us the authority to transfer it, but we're not obligated to make that transfer or spend that money.
Enough. I just wanted to make sure the public knows this has nothing to do with raising taxes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Commissioner, may I make a comment? Because I've thought about this a lot for some reason. Just sitting where I sit. Accountants, every year, you bring them their statements and they tell you what you did in the past. When Matt makes a budget, he has to do that in reverse, except he has to decide what's going to happen in the future. And obviously that's not really possible to know exactly what we're going to, but he's kind of like a future accountant. And so that's why a lot of cities and governments do amendments, because when you're making the budget, you don't know what's going to happen. So he did a pretty good job. But sometimes you have to adjust it to reflect that. So
Yeah.
I can second
I
that.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, Madam Chair. See, and I follow up on that. I like that you put it that way. That's a good way to think about it, because you don't know who's going to pay their taxes, who's not, what may happen that year. And, you know, at home, when you do your budget, you have a pretty good grip. I mean, you don't know, there's unforeseens too, but with the county, it's just so much more. And I think you do a very good job. Thank God for that. Madam Chair,
Yes.
move to close the budget amendment hearing and move into the agenda meeting.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll send it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, so we are going to move into the agenda meetings. Let's call that meeting to order and then let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I would consider a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries. How about a motion for the minutes of the December 2nd and the December 16th regular meeting?
So moved.
Second,
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Any citizen wishing to make statements during the discussion of any item must first be recognized by the commission chair. After being recognized, that person should state their name and the name of any organization represented. Statement should be limited to 5 minutes. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Recording the meeting is allowed, and the commission requests that anyone using special recording equipment be seated in the back row to avoid creating a distraction during the meeting. We have no old business, so we move right into approval of appropriations with Barton County Clerk.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This morning, we have the regular accounts payable register for the period of December 16th, 2025 to December 30th, 2025, and ask for approval.
Discussion on that item, then we'll review that.
Madam Chair, if you're ready for a motion, I'd move to approve appropriations for the period of December 16th, 2025, December 30th, 2025, and authorize the chairman to sign on behalf of the commission.
Okay, second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Under new business, we have amendment of the 2025 Barton County operating budget, and we have Matt Otzner to present our details.
Just ask that you consider approval of the 2025 Barton County budget amendments as previously presented.
Madam Chair, if you're ready for a motion,
Yes.
I move to approve the 2025 Barton County budget amendments.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item B, Kirk Michael, Engineering Services. I guess we have Mr. Potsner for that too.
So Kirk Michael has submitted an agreement outlining the service provision and subsequent costs of the providing engineering services for Barton County. Included for the 2,800 monthly fee is 12 hours of service, at least one trip to Barton County in person per month. And the reason we picked the 12 hours is to give us the option. It's a minimum of one visit per month. If we're dealing with something that requires a little bit more time, maybe we'll have 2 meetings. We'll kind of have the option to make that work. At this time, it's anticipated the billing will be paid from the county engineers account of the general fund. Obviously, when we budgeted for 2026, we still had an engineering department. So I think it makes the most sense in 2026 to just use that money that we've budgeted to pay for these services. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
I mean, I know that we have done business with Kirk and Michael for years and years and have always had top-notch service with them. So I think they'll serve us well. It's going to be interesting. Leaves very large shoes to fill. But I think they'll work out well.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I know we've discussed it at length. I just, for the public, this decision wasn't made lightly, and we did everything we could to keep Barry McManaman around, but however, he decided to retire. So we wish him the best in retirement. But also, whenever we did have a project, it generally did end up with Kirkman Michael. I think that's what you were saying. And so I don't think day-to-day things will change a little bit, but in the big picture, it'll stay a lot the same this way.
I think things may change a bit for some of our township officials who are used to buzzing in and seeing Barry and have to work through how we got out. So there'll be some changes, but
I think it's interesting to point out, we did put the job application out there and we didn't really have qualified applicants. So most counties are going this way to hire engineering services rather than having very few, I think, have still county engineers, so.
Yeah, the number's going down every year.
And we have Chris Shorts back there to take Barry's shoes in a way.
Big shoes.
Yeah.
Motion,
Madam Chair,
yes.
I move to approve the engineering services agreement for 2026 with Kirk and Michael for a $2,800 monthly fee plus incidentals and other staffing time as needed. Direct the County Commission Chairman to sign on behalf of Barton County.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Then we have item C, resolution 2025-21, appointment of county engineer by the Board of County Commissioners of Barton County, Kansas. Description of organizational structure of Barton County Engineering Department. Mr. Pottsman to provide us with details.
So this goes along the agreement. The proposed resolution names Kirk and Michael as the on-call engineer as required by Kansas statutes and places the engineering department under the supervision of the county administrator. This is just in keeping with the county's organizational structure.
It's just housekeeping to make it right.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, move to adopt resolution 2025-21, appointment of a county engineer by the Board of County Commissioners of Barton County, Kansas, and description of the organizational structure of the Barton County Engineering Department.
Second,
Second that.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item D, Fire District Number 2, appointment of Board of Trustees. And Mr. Matt Pottsman to provide details on that.
Per Resolution 2018-10, which created Fire District Number 2, the members of the Fire District Board of Trustees shall consist of not more than one appointee from each participating township and not more than one from each participating city. There's one unexpired term ending December 31st, 2026, open, and 4 terms ending December 31st, 2027. One each for the cities of Hoisington, Almutz, and Albion, and Eureka Townships. Right now, we have so for the city of Hoisington, we have Thad Foltz. For Albion Township, we have a new application from Raymond Christians and a reapplication from Sarah Younger. Then for Eureka Township, a reapplication for Michael McCurry. We just ask that you consider appointment of these individuals.
Madam Chair, I just like to commend these individuals. They're very qualified individuals that really take it serious that the fire service is important to them, whether it's in the city or the township. So if you're ready for a motion. I'd like to move to appoint Thad Foltz representing the city of Hoisington. And we have 2 individuals, Ms. Younger and Mr. Christians. Ms. Younger's done an excellent job all this time, but I think it's just time for a change. I'd like to nominate or appoint Mr. Christians for representing Albion Township and Michael McCurry representing Eureka Township to the Board of Trustees for Fire District Number 2, Barton County, Kansas. The uncompensated term ends December 31st, 2027.
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, just wanted to thank Commissioner Wright for doing the homework on that and always defer to him. I'll never, as much as I want to study fire districts and fire departments, I'll never know as much as Commissioner Wright does. So
Thank you.
Pottsner.
So the county solicited applicants for the Center for Counseling and Consultation Governing Board. This board reviews and makes recommendations on mental health services in Barton County and the surrounding area. Gary Davis has applied for reappointment. And so we ask you to consider the reappointment of Gary Davis for the Center for Counseling and Consultation Governing Board with the unexpired position terming December 31st, 2028.
Madam Chair, I don't know anybody that doesn't like Gary Davis, so I'll go ahead and move to appoint Gary Davis to the Center for Counseling and Consultation Governing Board. The position terming December 31st, 2028 is uncompensated.
Second. And second that.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Item F, occupancy agreement with 12th and Kansas Great Bend and
So as a means of community support, the state of Kansas Parole Office is housed rent-free in the office building at 1208 Kansas Great Bend. Specific to the agreement, office space provided as a means of community support. They'll reimburse for phone services, including long distance, reimburse for a portion of the utilities based on assigned office footage, and this will be billed on a monthly basis. And so we just ask you to consider approval of the occupancy agreement for the state of Kansas Parole Office.
space for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been several years.
The corrections building. Do you have any discussion on this or any comments?
Madam Chair, I'd move to approve the occupancy agreement for the State of Kansas Parole Office with the agreement set to expire December 31, 2026. Direct staff to submit the approved agreement to the Kansas Department of Corrections.
Second,
Second that.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item G, information technology, operating improvements, and we have Mr. Matt Otzner to provide details.
All right, I'll be standing in for Derek on this one a little bit. So Office 365 Business enables all computer users to have email hosting protection and archiving, as well as a desktop version of Microsoft Office. It's suggested the commission approve the purchase of licenses for up to 168 users. I believe Derek talked to you about this last week and suggested the Office 365 business platform and advanced threat protection from true.org cloud. I'd be happy to answer any questions that I can.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Matt, my understanding is that the cost has increased a bit, but because we've shrunk staff, the cost is a little bit less than the previous year. Is that?
Yeah, Derek's been trying to get really creative and really trying to review the amount of users we have, who actually needs this, and he's been trimming those where he sees that it's appropriate. So trying to keep that cost down.
Oh, Madam Chair, one other thing, we did try to, we put this out for bid and solicited local vendors, and it just not something they can help us with this time.
And I think isn't true.org who we went with the last several years, they've had the low bid, so.
So and I think it's worked out well.
it's in the past with them. Okay. Discussion, I would take a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll move to purchase licensing of Office 365 Business Platform and Advanced Threat Protection from True.org Cloud. Cost of service $29,072.40 is to be paid from the 2026 budget general fund line Information Technology Department 001-24-5423.
Second,
And I'll second that.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You want to stand in for Chris Sharts?
Now we have road bridge, replacement road rollers, and we have Mr. Chris Sharts to bring us up to speed on that.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Well, road rollers are essential engineering vehicles used by highway departments for compaction of soil, gravel, and asphalt to make strong, durable road foundations and surfaces. We use them, more than what people would really realize when we're overlaying roads and sand sealing roads. We do have some aging equipment at the current moment. We have, excuse me, our 4 rollers that we currently use are a 1998, a 2001, and 2 2007s with, they've all, range from 3,500 to 4,000 hours. We did solicit bids from different companies, Murphy Tractor, Foley Equipment, and Van Keppel. And Murphy Tractor did give us a bid for 2 HP 100-10 rollers for the price of $279,000. Now we did check into the used route. There wasn't a lot of savings between going with new from used, and the biggest deal with going from new to used is the warranty. With the new machines, we would get a 60-month warranty or 60-month or 3,000-hour warranty, which we average around 300 hours a year on these machines with sand sealing and overlaying. So we wouldn't hit the 3,000 hours. So basically we would have 5 years of warranty on these machines. And these machines we would have for quite some time. Just as the example we got the ones we currently have used from a KDOT surplus auction. So, and we are going to plan on keeping the 2 best rollers we have. And then, we did talk about trading them in, but the value was not great. So we're going to look at trying to put them on an auction website to try to get our best return for money wise. And just the repairs on the rollers that we have, just in the last 5 years, we've spent around $40,000. We do have a couple rollers that they have hydraulic drives. That's how they are driven, and they're starting to go out, and each roller has 2 of
Chris,
them.
don't say too much. We got to sell these things on purple.
That's true. But, well, it's buy it as you get it though, right? But yeah, I mean, we do have a couple drives that are going out, and those are, upwards of 40,000 a piece. So it's kind of rip the Band-Aid off and buy new ones, or just kind of keep putting the Band-Aid on it. Eventually, they're just gonna kaput. But I would answer any other questions that you guys would have on this.
This is something you've been talking about for quite a while, and I know you did a lot of checking to see the best price, whether it's used, and appreciate you doing that. And I think we all agreed that buying new was the better option. So, even though sometimes, you think that used, you get by with it, but on this, on this particular case, used or news was the best idea. So, I mean, you use the old ones beyond their life, really.
Yeah, basically with the 4 we have, during overlay, we'll use 2, and then during chip sealing, we'll use 3. And there's times where we hope to keep 2 running.
Sure.
And 2 work fixed while we're fixing the other. So it's crazy to think how essential they are, but when they're down, the whole crew's down. We can't do anything without them.
Seems like the road and bridge that you guys do, it's hard on equipment, just a lot of abuse. I mean, not by you guys, but it's just the normal wear and tear. And
A lot of miles, yeah.
And I think, I think with Ms. Hutchinson, with the social media that we do, I think the public can actually see then what you actually do and the abuse that it gets. Or I guess I shouldn't say abuse, maybe that's not the right word, but
Wear and tear.
yeah, conditions that it's in. With that, are you ready for a motion? I move to approve the purchase of 2 HB 100-10 rollers for a total of $279,000 and no cents from Murphy Tractor. Said purchases to the Equipment Replacement Fund, Road and Bridge Line 072-00-6485. Current roller equipment to be sold on Purple Wave once replacement machinery is readied for use in the county fleet.
Second.
I'll second that.
In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Just point out that was an opportunity where we could buy local,
Mhm.
big purchase.
Big purchase.
Love to see that. And I know we can't always do that. So when we are doing that, we got to make sure to point it out because sometimes we just can't.
Yeah, and it's definitely nice where we can drive a mile from our shop to get parts or get something worked on. It saves us money that way too, because like the ones we currently have, the closest places are Wichita or Garden City, so.
Okay, item I, resolution 2025-22, establishing weight limits for certain bridges maintained by Barton County and rescinding resolution 2023-22, same adopted August 29th, 2023. And we have Mr. Christian provide details on this one.
Okay, KDOT, they distributed the results for the final year of the federally mandated bridge and load rating project. Upon its completion, the 10-year project will have analyzed all bridge link structures in the state of Kansas to determine if they can carry legal loads. All 372 Barton County bridges of load rating. This time, 224 bridges were analyzed this period. We did get quite a bit that we have to put signage on. It's approximately 188 signs that we are going to have to put up. And just to give a background, so the public understands, in 2018, legal weight limits for emergency vehicles were increased dramatically. Legal weights of fire trucks are 86,000 pounds gross, 24,000 pounds single axle, and 62,000 pound tandem axle. And Kansas law does not exempt emergency vehicles from size and weight limitations on bridges. So in some cases, weight limit signs will need to only apply to emergency vehicles. So you will see some locations that have only emergency vehicle signs. And then you will see some locations that have the 3 truck signs plus an emergency vehicle, which is a different number. And we understand we live in a farming community and we do our best to put them as far off the road as we can. So we are doing it like we do our regular signs, 15 feet off the white line everywhere we can. So it's a way just to make sure that we're restricted to the weight rating that Department of Transportation would like us to be. So I'd have any questions if you guys have any.
I know I got some calls when the signs started going up. But I do appreciate that they're 15 feet off the white line. They were concerned that they would be too close to the bridge. So they couldn't get like large equipment through. But most of his signs now, they drop down, but these couldn't be that way. So they're just going to be 15 feet off is what you said.
Yeah, the OM3s we put on the bridges, we do make them droppable. So farmers have equipment they want to take over, they can put them down and then we can put them back up. But these ones with the wind and with some of them having 2 signs on them, they would be blown over so quickly. So that's why we just put it on one post.
Now, some of these signs will be on the blacktop and the township roads. Is that correct?
Yes, all county bridges. So the county maintains all the bridges. So yes, there will be some on the blacktops and some on the township roads.
And then you also put, I guess, just 188 sounds like a lot of signs, but you also put them, don't you put them on the intersection before?
Yes, the emergency vehicle only signs we put just at the bridges. The signs that have the 3 truck and the emergency vehicle we put on each side of the bridge and at each nearest intersection. So a vehicle or a truck would know, well, we can't go that way. So they have time to take an alternate path to go around that bridge.
Is this information provided to 911? So how is that assimilated?
We send a letter to the fire departments in the county and let them know about it so they're aware of the new weight restrictions and stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure. Is it our legal department's position that that we have to do this?
Unfortunately, yes. That's the correct answer.
I had that question as well. Okay, we have no more discussion. Does someone want to make a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd move to adopt resolution 2025-22, establishing weight limits for certain bridges maintained by Barton County and rescinding resolution 2023-22, same adopted August 29, 2023.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, item J, appraiser's office vehicle replacement, and we have Wendy Prosser here to provide us with detail.
Morning, commissioners.
And
Okay. So currently I have 3 vehicles in my fleet. And I just wanted to kind of do a little history because I was looking at this. I started back in 2008 with the appraiser's office. At that time, we had 3 Trailblazers in our fleet. And unfortunately, the only reason that we've replaced vehicles is one of the Trailblazers, we had staff coming home from class and blew an engine. Another one, we had unfortunately a team out and they got T-boned and it completely totaled the vehicle. And the other one, I don't remember if it's the engine or the tranny, but it completely failed. And it was a 2005 and we replaced it back in 2020. So they've all been older vehicles. We've tried to drive them into the dirt. That is why I'm coming to you today. What the vehicle that we had purchased when we blew the engine in one of the Trailblazers was a 2014 Jeep Compass. At that time, we didn't really have money in the budget, so we bought one of the cheapest vehicles that we thought would do the job. We have utilized that vehicle. It has not been the greatest vehicle for our department at all, but it is taxpayer money and we have tried to be fiscally responsible and just deal with what we've had. Unfortunately, this vehicle has been having numerous mechanical issues, and with our wet spring that we've had and the summer that we've had, it has not been very sufficient for being out in the rural areas with our roads being rutted. Trying to get in some of these farmsteads is very low ground clearance. We did have it budgeted. We have a replacement plan that we do, and we budget for looking at 5 years out. With it being a 2014, we did kind of have an estimated that within the next couple of years, this vehicle was going to have to be replaced, or possibly would have to be replaced. Unfortunately, with the mechanical issues that were occurring, that has now happened. Knowing that, we went out, kind of looked, what did we need really to have a good vehicle out in the county? We needed some ground clearance. So with that being said, you know, we've been driving Traverses, looking at their ground clearance. We knew we needed at least one vehicle that was a little bit higher sitting off the ground than that. And so when we went to go looking for a replacement vehicle, we were looking at least a 9-inch ground clearance, which is what typically some of your smaller trucks are. We needed at least 4 doors, 4-wheel drive for being out there in the county. Staff requested cloth seats, especially during the summer months. We did not want leather seats. And then we didn't care if it was used or new. We would have preferred to try to find something used with less than 20,000 miles. Unfortunately, there was nothing available on the market. And so we did go through talking to the different dealerships here in Barton County to try to see what was currently on their lots. We did look at like a Chevy Colorado, whatever the GMC Canyon, I think is what it's called, the Ford Ranger. We did have one of the dealerships said, we'll look at a full-size truck. Looking at that with the job that we do, a full-size truck is too big for what we do. With our frequent stops, especially alongside the road, it's just a larger vehicle that you're having to worry about. 3-point turns, it's a lot harder. So we did go back to looking at a smaller vehicle. What we did find was a Ford Ranger at Marmy Ford that they had available. And when that came in, we were looking at the other vehicles were all in the 40s, 40,000 and up. This Ford Ranger we were able to purchase for 35,165. So it was a lot lower than the other vehicles we were looking at. So at this time, I'm asking that you ratify the purchase of the truck.
Questions? I appreciate it. And I think we discussed it in study session. Our meetings timed out. We couldn't approve it in a meeting until today, which is why we're
Correct.
doing it instead of approving it ahead of time. Discussion study session, but with Christmas.
Madam Chair, and I think that these vehicles don't come along often enough, so it's something that I felt like Ms. Prosser had to act fast on it. And she's right, you wouldn't believe when you spend so much time in a vehicle, you have to have a certain amount of dash space, put your papers and your maps and all those, and that we had to buy that other, that Jeep so fast, it never did work out, it was very uncomfortable. So I'm glad you guys finally get a vehicle that you can actually work out of. And with that, I'll make a motion if you're ready.
Yep.
Okay, move to ratify the purchase of the 2025 Ford Ranger from Marmy Ford for $35,165. Cost to be paid from the Equipment Replacement Fund, General Line 072-00-6380.
Okay, do we
I'll
have,
second that.
okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
And I just did want to say for the public, it is a bright blue, but it does have the black Barton County logo on the doors, so that you can see us. But we did try to do a vehicle that stood out. So if you see a bright blue vehicle running around your rural properties, it is the county appraiser.
I'll have to say, one thing I like about Wendy, she's real practical. She runs these vehicles in the dirt. Maybe sometimes that's not the best way, but
I do it to my own vehicles, as if any of you saw here a while back, I had to reach under my passenger tire to actually wiggle a cord and had somebody start my engine. So from a farm girl, you learn. So
Just do it, right?
just do it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Okay, item K, executive sessions. Being no reason for that, we go to ending business. After new items are heard by the commission, the following items, including announcements, will be heard. Following the close of the agenda meeting, the commission will consider the authorization of personnel changes for classified positions, sign any documentation approved during the agenda meeting, or sign any other documentation required for regular county business. Similar action may take place throughout the day. Barton County office buildings will be closed Thursday, January 1st, 2026, in observance of the New Year's holiday. Landfill, the Records Division of the Sheriff's Office, and the Health Department will also be closed during this time. Emergency services will be in normal operation. Appointments, although subject to change, the following appointments have been scheduled. 9:45 or following the close of the agenda meeting, planning session with media consultants. 10 a.m. review of qualifications, county counselor. 10:15 regular business discussion with Matt Potzner. And then our 11 a.m. appointment has been rescheduled. Is that correct? She's ill. So that one we will push to next week. So the county edition of KBGB AM Thursdays at 11:05. Oh, there's no one scheduled. So New Year's Day. So other business, we have discussion items. Do the commissioners have any discussion items? Citizens or organizations may present requests or proposals for initial consideration.
Might say something, Commissioner?
Yes.
So commissioners are aware of this, and so are some of the staff. We do have a study session item today about the county counselor position. That's going to be a discussion about finding a replacement for your county counselor in 2026. I've accepted a different position with local government that's going to require my full attention, and so I'm no longer going to be able to serve here. I'm sure at some point I will deliver a big embarrassing speech to you guys about how much it means to me to have worked for Barton County. It's very difficult. I'm excited about my new opportunity, but also Barton County has been crucial for my career growth and also a huge part of my life for the last 7 years. And it's very difficult to leave a place where I have not just colleagues, but so many friends. But I just wanted to say that publicly because it's going to be very important to reach out and find the right person to fill this role. And I just want to make sure everyone in the public is aware of what's going on. So thank you all for everything. And let me say that real quick.
Okay, commissioners are available to the public on Tuesdays during regular business hours. One or more commissioners may be present in the commission chambers conducting county business throughout the day on Tuesdays. Commissioners may individually schedule personal appointments related to county business at their discretion, and the next regular meeting will be at 9 a.m. Tuesday, January 6th, 2026. Take a motion to adjourn.
Madam, I'd move to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned.
That chair.